Hey, 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 welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm DJ Impact. I got the Vegas Bad Boys here with me. It's good to see everybody. Today, we've got a good wrestling things to go over from this past week. So we're going to go over them. And what better way than to see what we want to highlight from this week's wrestling. All right, the four-way stop. This is what it's about. All right, let's kick it off with you, Simon Street. Tell us, man, what is your four-way stop you got for tonight?
Well, pretty much the four-way stop. Interesting enough, I actually had an opportunity to indulge in a little bit of some Impact Wrestling. I got lucky and was hanging out with somebody who actually had it on, and I watched it. And I got a chance to see Gresham versus Alexander for the ROH Championship. It was pure rules, ROH pure rules. And I haven't seen it in a while since literally last time I've talked about it had to be about a good 4 or 5 months. And it was entertaining from start to finish. And it kind of went along the lines of what you were talking about last week, Impact, of, ROH, defending the title or doing work on Impact. And I really enjoyed it from start to finish. I couldn't turn away and ended up watching the whole program. It was just really cool. Happy to see that, from everything from the invasion that's still continuing to happen to, different, talent that's actually active. They're not just showing up on cameos. They're actually active on the roster, which is cool. And I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me go over to you, Sin City Steve. What do you got, man? What was your highlight this week?
I'll tell you, man. This week, it was a couple of different things. The biggest thing being Jon Moxley. Obviously, we all know about his journey. He had a great promo to kick off Dynamite. And the fact is, it's unbelievable just what getting away from alcohol can do for somebody. The guy looked 10 years younger. He looked so much healthier. And quite frankly, he said that all that he drinks now is blood. So I wonder if we're going to be getting a retread of the Shayna Baszler failed vampire gimmick from Raw. That was a joke. But in any event, I think Moxley is, took the time to be able to refocus and actually find his core and find his center and find the reason why he does this. Mm-hmm. And big props to him for tackling a demon that he's been facing for a long time. Also, I got to give a shout out to Jonathan Gresham. Jonathan Gresham and, that Pure Rules championship match. As you had mentioned, Simon, I have to echo your point on that. It's great that more people are going to be able to see just how good Jonathan Gresham is in the ring. And this week's match on Impact just continued to prove that. So yeah, all in all, solid stuff. But those two were my standouts for sure.
All right. Let's go over to you, Mr. Matt Michaels. What stood out for you?
I got to say that Walter versus Roderick Strong was probably one of the best. Well, it was the best match of the week. I'm sorry. There's nothing out there that compared. Those two just worked their asses off. And then we also, get to be part of this historic moment in which Walter calls himself Gunther. And no one really knows if that's going to stick because of the World War II Nazi Gunther that they were trademarking. So it gets all weird there, but the match was great.
Is that a weird?
And then you also have to give a little credit this week to Austin Theory and Finn Balor, which was another solid match. Moving along Austin really nicely. And, Finn, you can't go wrong. And this is why they need some of those veteran guys to still be around and, bigger guys, name-wise, to help some of these younger guys get over. Seth versus Lashley was a great setup with the Usos coming in. That, led nicely into the SmackDown and that whole challenge on SmackDown for Seth to still maintain his title opportunity was great. So a nice storyline going from Raw to SmackDown. proving that they can do Raw to SmackDown storylines. So maybe we should back off of these brands again, because I think the brands are kind of silly right now. So that's what we're looking at. And finally, Alexa Bliss, gotta love her therapy, man. Oh, oh man, it just makes her more attractive when she's more nuts.
Oh wow. All right, I got to give it to you there. Listen, I have to agree with you, Matt Michaels. The Roderick Strong and Walter was mine. I tell you, this is how it's supposed to be when you have someone that's the size of Roderick going against someone as dominant and as big as Walter. You automatically look at this match as there is no way that Roderick is going to even come close. Yet he was taking it to Walter constantly, to the point, I mean, he ran to the rope, hit him with an elbow, ran to the other side of the rope, hit him with the elbow, went to the other side of the rope, hit him with the elbow, and then when he went to the other side of the rope, yeah, Walter he dodged it, but then he got kicked and he was on his knee. I mean, it was great. That right there is the way you do it, and it makes it believable. Because although we knew that Walter was more likely was going to win the match, you're going, well, is he? Because that's the way it was really being told in the ring. Absolutely. And shout out to Diamond Mine. I was like, boy, that'd be great if they did pull out 3 of those matches, but they won 2 other matches during the night. It was definitely my highlight of the week too. And it was tough. I was trying to figure out, what else could compete to that, but that right there was definitely it. So that is mine. I got 30 seconds left. Anybody want to say something in that?
I just a shout out to Jade wanting to tie a brick to the greetings to Mr. Edge at Royal Rumble that Chris is offering up. So poor Edge.
Oh God. All right. Let's get into our Too Sweet for the week. All right, let me start with you, Sin City Steve. Who won this week for you?
Well, we briefly touched on it, but quite frankly, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, they get my Too Sweet for the week. They didn't just execute on one show. They executed across the board on more than one show. Right. And the thing is, building depth of character. Obviously, the pairing at first, I was kind of unsure how things would shake out. And, the fact that they were doing essentially the same type of a storyline on both shows, I was kind of unsure, thinking that it was just going to be repetitive and, that I would lose interest. But no, these guys work extremely well together. And I really think that it just goes to show, whether it's alongside of El Generico, whether it's alongside of Chris Jericho, or now whether it's alongside of Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens needs somebody to get the fullest extent of his character and to bring out every good thing that he can do. He has to have somebody to play off of. And they've definitely hit a home run pairing him up with somebody like Seth Rollins. And yeah, just give me more of that. I don't know why I even went into it having the apprehension that I did, but now I feel really stupid for doing so. And again, I did mention it in the 4-way stop, but again, Jon Moxley. Mox is, he's been one of my favorite wrestlers to watch for a long time. Obviously, I'm originally from the Cincinnati area. So he was kind of, a great icon for me to watch as he was coming up through CZW. I even saw the guy wrestle in front of about 20 people on the indies, and he just continues to reinvent himself. Hopefully he can keep it going, man, and just have another chapter.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let me go over to you, Simon Street. What was your Too Sweet for the week?
Well, mine was Too Sweet, not because of the match that he was in, but because I ain't seen him for a while, and he was definitely somebody who I used to watch back in the day, with Kurt Angle, Shelton Benjamin, and that is Charlie Haas. Yes, on Impact Wrestling. Charlie Haas came back. Now, mind you, he definitely looked like he aged unlike fine wine, but he still held his own. He still had a lot of those moves that he had. He was able to pull off a couple of suplexes going up against Josh Alexander. That was actually a decent match. I don't know what they have, in store for the Haas, but I was happy to kind of see him. It brought back for me some nostalgia. And it's somebody that I know like 3-4 years ago, we had talked about it right around this time when Rumbles were talking about. We talked about, man, that would be so cool if it was right around the time, I think, when Shelton Benjamin was kind of re-emerging in the WWE. We were like, man, wouldn't that be so cool if they got together? And this is before Kurt Angle, botched his own retirement last match in WWE. So it was good to see, Charlie Haas. I wish him the best of luck. I would like to see another match. Hopefully he'll get a little bit more seasoned because he was definitely a little rusty. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty cool to see parts of your nostalgia when it comes out. I almost feel a little bit like Matt Michaels whenever he sees a lot of the older wrestlers, come out and do something. It's a nice feeling to see, even if they're not the same as what they used to be. It's still fun to see how it's going. So that was pretty much my too sweet for the week.
All right. Matt Michaels, tell us, man, who was your too sweet for the week?
First off, Simon doesn't know anything about me from listening to the show, because if an older wrestler comes out 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to say, what the fuck is this guy doing here? So
that was the whole purpose why I said it.
This week, I'd say Walter, got the, not only the publicity for wrestling a good match, but all the crap going around with this name change caught a lot of attention, and that's what you do to keep relevant. But also Moxley as well. What's interesting about Moxley, though, is that as great as that promo was, we all knew he was coming back already, because GCW advertised him before he came out at AEW. So, that's stuff that still needs to be ironed out, and don't miss those opportunities, because you screw your own company by doing that, I think. But Omos, come on, Omos was awesome. The destruction of Reggie. Reggie fucking jumped off the top rope, and the man caught Reggie like he was a fucking baby. It was unreal. Like, if a person jumps and you're in air, you're going to we're all going to fall. That man probably could have thrown him back over the top rope, right out onto the floor. That's how strong he is, man. It's crazy. And this is, I think, what we're going to, get a nice taste of, because unlike other big guys, he actually can talk. And obviously, look, Aziz, who gives a shit when he's in the ring? But almost.
Oh, poor Aziz. All right. Too sweet for the week for me comes from Impact Wrestling, Miss Tasha Steelz. Now, she had a match against Chelsea Green, and her finisher was what it sounded like it was called the Crucifix Bomb, maybe? Or at least the Crucifix.
That's a finisher, yeah.
Okay, it is. Okay. Executed well. The crazy thing about that is that although it makes her look great, Chelsea actually is the one who has to perform that move perfectly, because she's the one that literally has to leave her feet. But the way it was presented, it was done so well that shout out to Tasha Steelz for using that, and it was done perfectively. Also, after that match, she had a great promo against Mickie James, because of course she is the number one contender to win that particular that belt back. So she had some good words and eventually got Mickie pissed off. But I gotta tell you, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Tasha Steelz overall. I think she is going to get to that level of where Mickie is, where Deonna is. And, I thought she was going to be one of the ones that would just kind of get lost in the shuffle. But you can see that they see something in her, and she's definitely showing that she's got the skills. So She is my too sweet for the week. All right, guys, let's get into our WTFs. All right, I'm going to do something different this time. Mr. Michaels, who was this week's for you WTF?
Well, we got some nice WTFs this week. Let's start with the fact that CM Punk, his ego is WTF because Sean Spears was taken down in a matter of instance, 3 seconds, 7 seconds, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, the chair.
Yeah. But CM Punk's ego definitely needed that win. So I'm glad he got it. I'm glad he feels good about himself. I'm glad he's taking all that money. He's worth it. Definitely. The next I got to say is Orange Cassidy's elbow to Britt Baker. What the fuck was that? He's coming off the ropes and comes in so slow that it was like as soon as his elbow kind of brushed her, she stopped and then she threw herself back, and then the table didn't crack like a table cracks. It looked like it was a table, but it looked like it was a couple cardboard boxes that just went. It was the worst looking fucking ring bump I've seen in fucking forever. It was just like, what? And then she's supposed to be dead, right? That's what it was like. He killed her with it because everyone was like running over there, and Cole, Adam Cole was just so furious and whatnot. It's like, if anyone watches the replay, you'll see that, man, Orange Cassidy, boy, when he really lays that elbow in, Orange Cassidy style, because he started off the match kicking her in the shins. Well, you should have elbowed her in the shins because it was that crappy. And don't forget about the Alpha Academy Academic Challenge. What the fuck?
All right. I see. How about you? Let's go to you, Simon Street, man. What you got?
Well, my definite what the fuck was because I kept saying it over and over and over again, replaying it just to see if I heard it correctly. It comes from Impact Wrestling. Tasha Steelz, as you had mentioned earlier, Impact, as she finished her match with Chelsea Green, she had a real good promo with Hardcore Country herself. Right. And she had said a comment, and it's something that I used quite a few times. And I know we've done an interview with her, and I don't care. I'm not looking for claimage of what was said. I just wanted to be known that it was something cool that was said, that was used in a promo that really put a point across. She said, quote and I quote, she said, "You're going to find yourself on the wrong side of the street, like when the lights come on, where they told you the wrong side of the street you shouldn't be on when the lights come off." I was like, damn, that's some shit I've always used to saying wrong side of the street. Have I not, fellas? Have I not? Now, the only reason why I bring that up, and I said, what the F, is because there's been many a times y'all have given me shit, and rightfully so. Like, brother, why are you using that phrase? That's kind of whack. Stop. But Tasha Steelz used it. But even outside of that, I was just kind of like, wow. Like, okay. So that's what my what the fuck came out. I think I played it back 7 times just to see if I heard correctly. Because, I can be a little delusional sometimes. But I wasn't delusional, and I heard it. Did you hear it, Impact?
I did hear it. But the first thing that didn't come to my mind was, dang, she took Simon Street's.
Of course not. Of course not. Tasha Steelz is well on her way. And at the end of the day, I'm not looking for copyright or anything. I'm just happy that somebody said something cool that I said that was the same thing that wasn't cool. And that's all.
All right.
DJ, you need another screen for his ego. He's trying to get in.
Well, somebody called CM Punk, so I get the same deal he got.
All right, then. Let me move over to you, Sin City Steve, man. What was your WTF?
Thus, Monday Night Raw. And yeah. And I quote from Vince McMahon himself, telling Austin Theory that if he doesn't beat Finn Balor, that he's going to beat him up. He'll have him dragged into his office, pull out an equalizer, and break every small bone in his body, and then shift to his face. And then he said there will be nothing left of him but blood, snot, and broken teeth. He said he'll then take a selfie and send it to his mom. This coming from the same company, and mind you, the person that said it was the chairman of this company, who just this past week issued a press release saying, if you look at the gory self-mutilation that bloodied several women in the December 31st event on TNT, it quickly becomes clear that these are very different businesses. We had an edgier product in the Attitude Era in the 2022 world, and in the 2022 world, we don't believe that type of dangerous and brutal display is appealing to network partners, sponsors, venues, children, or the general public as a whole. What the fuck? So you're going to condemn the competition, and then you're going to cut a promo threatening essentially the same shit. What the fuck? And then obviously, as was mentioned, the now abandoned trademark for Gunther Stark, who was a Nazi U-boat commander who was sunk in the English Channel in 1944. So yeah, good going. At least Walter is going to be going by just simply Gunther going forward, I guess. What the fuck?
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Well, my WTF for the week came from Impact Wrestling, which I don't find most of the time anything, but you got BTI, of course, before the Impact. They had Jordynne Grace had a match where she pretty much retained her digital media championship. Then, of course, hits the music of Matt Cardona. Now, I'm thinking Matt Cardona's coming out to maybe say, hey, man, you know, my wife deserves to have a challenge against this belt. You know, I give her the opportunity. She's going to take it away from you. But no, Mr. who just came from a three-way battle for the Impact World title, apparently he can't get that title. So he wants to now face Jordynne Grace for the digital media title? What the fuck, man? I mean, come on, Matt. Is it that bad? I'm beginning to think that Moose is right. It is Matt Mid Cardona. It's got to be worse than Mid Cardona. It's now just giving up Cardona. You got to go for the digital media title. I don't even understand this. How do you go from? How do you go? That's almost like in WWE. You go for the WWE championship to the 24/7 title. You just want a belt. You don't care who you got to beat to take it. Doesn't make sense to me. So I'm hoping.
Do you know who won?
Huh?
Do you know who won?
So to be honest with you, I do know who won, but it hasn't been shown yet. But
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's absolutely ridiculous. So until it's shown, that'll probably once again make my what the fuck week when that happened. But all right. We'll take it from there. All right. Let's get right into our next one. The Lookout. All right. Let me kick it off with you, Mr. Simon Street. What you looking out for?
Well, I'm definitely on the lookout for this developing story, of which I was not too excited at first, but now things are picking up as we get closer to the Rumble. And that is definitely Sonya Deville and Naomi. I just got to say, there's something about it that when I think about every time she talk about when I'm your boss, when I got this jacket on, almost every goddamn week when she take that jacket off, I thought she was going to get handled this week on SmackDown because she had to take the jacket off to put the referee shirt on. But it didn't happen. But I am excited for the Rumble when those two go at it. I definitely feel that there's more to this match. And, you know, I know I might be the only person that may be interested in this match, but I really, really start to see what Sonya Deville and her character is and her officially coming back or to whatever the capacity is. And it reminds me a lot of what Vince McMahon was doing back in the Attitude Era. We might be looking at if they can develop it right, in the same vein of what Vince McMahon and Stone Cold did. Yes, we know it's maybe a little bit different, obviously, and it's been done many a times with other people, but I like it. There's something about it. Yes, I know, Michaels, you don't like it, but you know, it's my opinion, and I like it. So I'm going to look out for Sonya Deville and Naomi and how this transpires. That's all I got to say. Paige is interested. That's all I got to tell you.
Okay. Let me move right over to you. Let me go over to you, Matt Michaels. I think you're ready to go. Who are you looking out for?
I definitely don't have the balls enough to compare Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon to Sonya Deville and Naomi. That's a what the fuck this week. Thank you. Does that count for next week? Because what the fuck? It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And you say, I mean, there's a lot to deal with, and Jesus, we got to look out for Johnny Knoxville, man. I think that we're seeing that he's going to actually be in the Rumble for a little bit. This whole idea that he's ballsing up to Sami Zayn and that cattle prod fucking. I love the fact that pro wrestling still uses an over the fucking whole arena sound of a cattle prod.
Right.
Like what? That's another what the fuck moment, but it was wonderfully cheesy and fun into that segment. And
Right.
again, Johnny Knoxville throws Sammy. So most likely we'll see Sammy throw out Knoxville, and then Knoxville will get his revenge and eliminate Sammy somehow. And I think that match at WrestleMania would be better than the Bad Bunny match at WrestleMania last year. So there you go. I think that's what we could see, huh? Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn, WrestleMania, and the loser has to perform a classic jackass stunt, like getting gored by a bull, and that would just be wonderful. And then they can have a bullpen right there, and literally just drag like the guy to the bullpen to get sparred by a bull. I love it.
Watch it, man. You're getting close to sounding like Vince. Okay, watch it. All right, Sin City. Well, what you looking out for, man?
I've got my eyes out on Serena Deeb. I absolutely love the way that they're booking Serena Deeb in AEW. I think that it's great seeing her develop the way that she has over the years. Obviously, she was used in a particular capacity when she worked for WWE as part of the Straight Edge Society. She continued to put in the work, continued to bust her ass day in, day out on the indies, and now she's got the Woman of 1,004 Holds moniker. I really, really want to see where they go with her. I'm thinking that realistically, she could very well be the first major challenger for Jade Cargill. Obviously, we all know how that's going to end up, but I'm hoping that they don't squash her. I hope that it's actually a pretty decent match. But yeah, Serena Deeb looked phenomenal this week against Sky Blue. And then also something that I've got my eye on is they are truly they're hyping up this upcoming Young Bucks and Roppongi Vice action that's going to be going on AEW. For those of you that have not seen any of the matches that they had in New Japan, Trent and Rocky, Matt and Nick, they put on a clinic. And I think that if they take the gloves off, if they allow them to do everything that they can do in AEW, it's going to steal the show, whatever show it's on.
Okay.
Oh, and Veer Mahan.
Who?
Veer Mahan.
Oh, Veer. Oh, okay. Okay.
He's still on his way to Raw.
Yes.
I don't know what the fuck's going to happen when he gets there, but
his GPS is a little out of whack.
I just thought that he was walking.
Could be.
Those are all good points. All right. What I'm looking out for is actually two things. The first off, I'm really excited for for Rumble coming up because Mickey James is going to be a part of it. And I just kind of want to see how this is all going to come out. Will she will they, introduce her as the Knockouts Impact title holder? Would she come out with that belt? And I mean, I'm excited to see how all of that's going to come down. Is she actually going to eliminate somebody, or will she get in and kick her right out? I mean, I'm just really curious to see where it's going to go. But I'm really excited to for when she comes out. I'm just going to be staring to see how all this plays out. I think this could be an exciting moment, and hopefully they really thought something really cool to for her, instead of sitting her stuff in a trash bag, something a little better.
Let's have the Impact Women's title. They could send that back in a trash bag.
Oh my gosh, the disrespect.
Man, yeah, that's full disrespect. We got any boo sound effects? I can.
Yeah, we do.
I got to work on a boo.
The other work on a fart sound for him.
The other one, you might like this one, Sin City. So Moxley now walks back after his match with Ethan Page and runs into Bryan Danielson. So I'm like, come on, the thing about when you watch so much wrestling, you forget shit. And I have to go, okay, I know these guys fought before, but I got to figure out when. And as I was looking, they had a one-on-one match in 2013, back when Dean Ambrose was building the Shield. So I was like, God dang, and I looked at the match and it kind of brought it was during the whole Yes movement, but this actually seemed like this is something there. I'm actually kind of excited to see where this is going to go. So
AEW booking. Wonderful. They're not the WWE at all. They're a fucking new company. Thank God. We needed that.
Well, they're here to remind us, because it's almost been a decade, All right. Let's get into a new segment, Best in Show. Let's get right into it. All right. Let's kick this off. How about you, Sin City, man? What was your Best in Show this week?
Well, long story short is the beauty of Best in Show is that it doesn't necessarily have to be a wrestling product. That's right. All the while, wrestling was great this week, but I've got to say the last 2 days of NFL postseason football have been absolutely amazing to watch. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say it, and this is a wrestling podcast, but yeah, NFL postseason football has had my eye the most this week.
Well, Grunk has been a part of wrestling, so we'll add him to it. And boy, I tell you, I thought that I'm like, dude, I really thought they was about to fucking come back. I thought they was about to come back. It was about to be a disaster. And
wait. So are you a Rams fan now?
He jumps all over the place,
as was talked about on this show.
Yes,
last week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Rams fan. Okay, that's it.
You just a fan.
But it was cool to see them win.
Ah,
yeah. Thank you. All right. Whatever. You got, everybody who comes at me is just mad because their team is already kicked out, already gone. They just,
because we have a team,
right? Your team never will because, yeah. As soon as whoever wins the Super Bowl, you're like, that was my team.
You know what?
Time.
Anyway,
I mean, when you can pick out of a list of all of the teams, because what are you, Bobby Heenan from the '80s now? Come on, man. You got to pick a team. You got to pick a team and be happy with them.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Chris Gale. He already jumped on the KC bandwagon. Now he's jumping on the Rams. He was on the Raiders for a while. We don't know where he's going to be.
I never liked KC. I've always hated the Chiefs. So stop.
Okay.
Anyway, while you're talking, why don't you go? Tell us your Best in Show this week.
My Best in Show was Seth Rollins. It was mentioned a bit earlier, and I'll take the same statement. From Raw to SmackDown, Seth Rollins. And we always know that Seth freaking Rollins can go 10 all the time. But I think that maybe I can only speak for myself. I kind of forgot amongst, everybody else getting a little moment to shine and him wearing these colorful jackets and shit like that. Seth Rollins reminded me, especially on SmackDown with him and Kevin Owens. He's just amazing. And it made me really look at and get excited for Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins at the Rumble. A lot of people will probably say there's no way he's taking the belt off for Roman. And I'll leave that to the imagination of people as we get closer to that match. But it's going to be a fun match to watch nonetheless. And I know that they're very familiar with each other. And it's just going to be a good match. So it's good for all of us fans. And so far, like I said, Seth freaking Rollins got me interested in a match that I probably wouldn't give two shits about.
Okay. Let me go over to you, Matt Michaels, best in show.
I got to say, best in show this week in terms of the best wrestling show out there was NXT. Hands down, way better than the shitty crap presented on other channels on Wednesdays or Friday nights. I mean, if I was watching it right now, it'd be GCW, but having not seen it right now, but I know that I would probably be really disappointed in because it's just using all of AEW's talent. So, and those guys deserve to be in GCW. So it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful to see how well things are coming along in this industry right now. But NXT is just, again, that Walter match was so strong that you really just kind of felt just anything else out there this week wouldn't compare to it. It was great.
All right. I guess mine would be just kind of jump into the themes of something that is wrestling related that was promoted during SmackDown would be the WWE 2K22 video game. I'm actually excited to see what this is about.
This is about
shortest roster ever.
I wonder when you play like the GM mode, do you have to accept when there's a bunch of let goes?
No, you have to be the one to fire them.
Yeah, you're the one that fires them.
Oh, I do. Oh shit! Well, that's gonna be great because I'm gonna have a whole list. I'm only gonna have 2 or 3 people on my company.
Impact, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be lots of people who are streaming this just for the GM mode, just so they can do their own list of people they're going to be letting go. I guarantee it. You mark my words.
Well, I'm excited to see it. Glad to see it's back out, and I actually have the next gen consoles, so I'm good.
As do I, brother. As do I.
All right. Man. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us. All the comments are coming in, I see. And we thank, Jay, Chris, who else I'm missing? Sean, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is our wrestling talk. We're about to jump into 3 count. That is going to happen in a few minutes, but we appreciate you. We hope you're liking the new format. If you're watching us live, you see that we have a different little setup and we have all type of things we can play around with. I'm going to start working on the sound effects soon, you guys, let me see if is this clapping hands. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm on an episode of SmackDown now.
You should have one that says, "Are you ready?" You just have that.
No, out of nowhere. They really do need to lower the tracks on both WWE and SmackDown, those audio tracks. They've got to lower that shit. It's horrible. And I don't know why nobody's not saying anything.
I'm shocked as shit that you did.
Whatever. I'll call it out when I see it too. All right.
I'm proud of you.
One step at a time, Impact. One step at a time.
Whatever. Anyway, everybody, thanks for hanging out. And oh, by the way, we have a release coming out this Friday. Nikita Knight and Cole Carter. So it's going to be an awesome interview that's going to be released this Friday. Make sure you download that and take a listen. You're going to learn a lot of things. And if you don't know who they are, it's a good time to start Googling them. so you can
And
get to
that's
know.
the reason he just said that is because he doesn't know who they are, and he has to start Googling them.
There you go. Or you can just do yourself a favor and listen to the interview and find out.
Fact I can.
What, did I just kill someone?
I know, for real. What the hell?
I think that's what I felt like I wanted to do to you, man. For you know,
Ooh,
trying to
it's
call
getting
me
violent
out.
up in here. Getting violent.
Yeah, so don't forget that. And then of course we always have the Falco files, which are released every Wednesday too. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you next week for wrestling talk. Until then, peace.